Joined now by Carrie Aguiar.to and Joe Aguiar. They're both here to share their experience with multiple sclerosis. Now, and Carrie, you've been diagnosed since 15 years ago. For those unfamiliar with multiple sclerosis, talk about what it is, because we hear it a lot.
Basically, it's a horrible disease.
Yeah.
It progresses bad for some people, and I have remitting relapsing MS, where I have an exacerbation, but I get better with medication. Some people get an attack and they just get worse and worse over time. They end up paralyzed or, you know.
Very debilitating. In some cases, I've seen firsthand myself, people I've known. And for those really unclear about it, essentially an autoimmune situation, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, autoimmune where the body begins to attack its own, the barrier of the spinal column, which is called the myelin sheath, with multiple, several, one or more, sometimes dozens of sclerosis, which are little scars or tears in that fatty sheath, and so now it starts attacking the nerve column unto itself, right?
Yes.
So what is, and certainly we want to know about what your experience is, because we know it affects family members too. Yeah. So, but what has been your experience like, and how has it affected your mobility, your life? What do those attacks feel like for you?
At times, very debilitating. At the beginning, before I was on medication, I'm on Avonex now. When I was without medication, I would have my attacks and I would have no feeling in my arm, I would have no feeling in my leg, I would be bedridden. I had visual problems, and it's horrible. And then some attacks last weeks to months, and you just never know when you're going to get better. It's just a time thing.
And how about for you as her brother?
You know, she really withdrew socially, you know, from this. She tried to hide this from people. She didn't want people to know she had it. She left my wedding reception early, and I didn't know the reason. I mean, you know, so it certainly caused some friction within our family, but, you know, nobody really knew much about MS. I mean, MS is hard to diagnose in and of itself anyway.
It is, yeah.
And then, you know, just in the past year, I met Karen Butler from the MS Society. She does a lot of work with the radio station. 105.9 The River up in Hartford. And Renee Donito mentioned my sister had MS to Karen, and she said, you know, we need you guys out there getting the word out about MS. And, you know, the big MS walk in Connecticut is coming up on April 6th. We're going to be hosting the one in Cheshire, 8 a.m. registration at the high school, 9 o'clock walk.
In fact, there's a dozen walks in Connecticut, April 5th and 6th. A couple of them on the 5th, most of them on the 6th. We're hoping for good weather. It's coming up fairly soon. Yeah. But talk about those walks and what they mean to you guys, not only to you as one who's afflicted, but to family and so forth, friends, in terms of fundraising, in terms of camaraderie, and what else? It's
nice. It brings awareness. There's still people that really don't know anything about the disease, which is unfortunate. And
of course, it is Walk MS. So for those, it seems kind of ironic when I think, gosh, so many people, their mere ability to walk is affected or completely just erased by multiple sclerosis. So, but nevertheless, people find a way to take part no matter how they're afflicted. Isn't that the case?
Yes. Yes,
that is. I mean, you're not walking, right?
I'm walking.
Oh, you are walking?
I'm walking. Oh. I can walk. As long as I can walk, I'm walking.
Well, that's good. We put together quite a...
15 years ago, I couldn't walk, so it's...
We put together quite a team this year, and, you know, we're obviously, you know, raising funds and again, obviously raising awareness. And, you know, she was a guest on my morning show yesterday on the River 105.9, just, you know, again, trying to get the word out and just getting my listeners and our family and friends. And, you know, we grew up in Meriden, so we know a lot of people. So, you know, I would like to see people come on out and join us at the walk.
Yeah, there's no such thing as too much awareness. So you're kind of a veteran of this. A lot of people are more recent. Real quickly, before we go, what kind of advances have you seen in the time, and how optimistic are you?
I'm very optimistic about, you know, a cure in the future. Because many years ago, when people first got diagnosed, there was no medications for anyone. You got an attack, and you would progress, and you get worse and worse. And the last 20 years, there's been more medications out there to help people, you know, to ward off attacks, and not a cure, but to ward off attacks if you happen to get sick.
All right. Well, we could certainly talk forever about this, because there's so much information that we'd like to get out. But you know what? We can get a link to the MS Society on our website.